Welcome back to San Antonio Living. I'm doing a little reading here from a new book called A Letter to My Daughters. And we wanted to talk with the author of this because he's a special dad who really started by giving sound advice to his daughters in the form of letters. And so many people around him said, you know what, could I get a copy of that? I'd like to use some of your words and your advice. He decided that, you know what, I think everyone needs to hear the advice, and so we put together this book. And we are now joined by Keith Hudson on the phone. Keith, great to talk with you.
Nice speaking with you as well, Leslie.
Tell me about why you wanted to put this book together, because you're an electrician by trade, and now you've become an author. Are you kind of surprised that you're giving fatherly advice to the nation now?
Leslie, I had no idea that I'd been involved in this project. At the beginning of my life, I never dreamed of being an author. But here I am years later, and the book, A Letter to My Daughters, is now out. And it's really amazing the number of lives that it's touched thus far, and we're looking to change millions of more lives across the nation.
And you wrote letters to your daughters. You have 3 beautiful daughters we're going to show a picture of. And why do you think that so many people wanted your advice as well? Because this is not something you studied in school, right?
It is not. In fact, in order to write the book, what I did was I interviewed literally thousands of other fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters. And I wanted to be sure that we identified the issues that affect young girls in today's society. And so not only my own life experience, but we used real-life experiences of thousands of other people to come up with the topics that affect girls today.
What do you think are some of the biggest issues that are impacting girls today?
The biggest issue that would be amazing to you is the fact of just fathers being involved in their daughters' lives. I mean, if we as fathers don't be the #1 influence in our daughters' lives, somebody else will be. It might be the drug dealer down the street. It might be the high school dropout. It might be someone that you don't want your daughter involved with. And by the time that relationship happens, if you're not involved, it could totally wreck your family, totally influence your other children on how they act.
And why do you think that so many fathers are absent these days?
Well, you know, you would be amazed because there are some fathers that are actually in the household every day. But if you're not personally saying, hey, daughter, how did your day go? Let me meet your boyfriend. Let me meet your boyfriend's parents. Is there anything I can help you with? I mean, you could be there and not be there. So the lines of communication are so important.
And if you only could give one bit of advice to parents out there, what would you say?
I would say that never just assume. I mean, I meet girls doing some of the interviews that are straight-A students, and you would think because they're straight-A students that they are smart in other areas of life. Never assume anything. Sit down, talk to your daughters, cover the areas of life. In fact, Leslie, there's a notebook diary that comes with the book, and the diary contains specific questions to each letter topic. Do you agree with my point of view, your own thoughts, your own experiences? And what this does is personalizes the book into every reader's life. And we have, secondly, what's called the father-daughter twin pack, and the mother-daughter twin pack, where you get 2 books and 2 diaries. And this lets the father or mother and their daughter sit down, cover each topic, write down their thoughts and point of views, and it leaves a legacy for the conversation they had.
And I know your book is really resonating, especially with single moms out there. Why is that?
Well, single mothers are kind of naturally at a disadvantage because they don't have that male input into their daughters' lives. What the book does is it allows that male point of view via the book, and it still gives them the same talk and lets a daughter not feel left out because she doesn't have a father in her life.
Well, Keith, thank you so much for joining us today. And I know you're going to be traveling here to San Antonio in July, talking about your next project, so we look forward to seeing you then.
And I look forward to seeing you in July as well.
Thank you, Keith. All right, everyone who's watching today, if you are interested in a copy of the book, again, it's called A Letter to My Daughters, Fatherly Wisdom About Life, Love, and Relationships by Keith Hudson. You can get more information at keith-hudson.com. Shelley?
All right, coming up next on San Antonio Living, it's summer vacation. We all want to go on vacation, but before you book your next trip, stay right here because we've got some tricks, some things you need to know before you book. We'll have that next on San Antonio Living.